Hello again. We're doing a little more Photoshop stuff. What I've got here is a picture from an old digital camera that I shot in Prague, and I want to finally make a print of this, and so I want to clean it up just a little bit. You might notice that the bridges kind of slant downhill towards the left. The thing that bothers me most is that aerial haze, right? This was shot up in the tower of the church and the castle. So it's this nice view of the city, but let's clean it up just a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is put this in the color space that I want to work in. Digital cameras shoot in sRGB, and I want to convert to the Pro Photo RGB. Now we'll generally use Adobe RGB or Pro Photo. There's reasons for different color spaces, but Pro Photo RGB is really handy space to work in. All right. Next thing I want to do is save it as a PSD so that I can always go back and work on this file. We know that JPEGs are a lossy compression method, and so I want to make this a PSD file, and so I'm saving that in my folder for printing. Okay, so now I've expanded my color space. I've got a Photoshop document that I can work on, and let's start by straightening up this thing. So I'm looking for a line that I can use. Now with the angle of these bridges, I don't know if they're horizontal or not, but there's a building here that I'm going to rely on to be my little straight edge. So I'm going to make this line of the building vertical. So I go over here to my ruler tool, and I click on the edge of that building, and I trace down that line. Notice that shadow there, just trying to keep that square. And then I get my little measurement up here, and it says it's just, not quite 2 degrees off vertical. So I'll go into Image Rotation Arbitrary, and it says, oh look, it's only 1.81 degrees off, and it knows whether to go clockwise or counterclockwise. Does a quick little change there. Double click on my hand tool and I zoom out. Everything looks a little bit more square, but let's crop off these edges now. Just bring these down. Not cutting off anything significant here, but I still want to be very close to the edges. There we go. Hit return on that. All right. Now, what I'm looking for is just to take some of that aerial haze out. Shot from altitude up in a tower, and so everything is a little bit bluey because of that scattering of the longer wavelengths of light. I don't want to really make a permanent change to this, so let's just make a little subtle change. So I'm going to use the adjustment layer palette, and I'm going to click on the curves. Now it starts out at adjusting all the colors, so you can see how it makes changes to all colors equally, but all I really want to do is adjust the blue right now. I want to get rid of some of that blue. You can see at the bottom of this histogram that there are no pixels active down at the bottom end of the scale here. Lots of pixels in the highlight areas where that bluey sky is. So I don't really want to change that so much. So I'm just going to take this and bring it down to where those pixels start. See that change? If I go too far, the buildings start to look green. Actually, I'm adding more yellow into it because I'm taking out blue. So if I put that just down here where those pixels start, you can see that difference. Not very strong, but just enough to make those roofs pop out a little bit more, make the green of the trees and the grass stand out. So I like that a lot better. So I've saved it, straightened up the file. I've converted to bigger color space, and then I've used the adjustment layer on the curves to just take out a little bit of that blue color and make that a little bit better for printing.